Do your research before you come at me, bro.
This is Teaching for Women. So, 1 Timothy, let's just read it. Let women learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over men. You just told me and told my brother what it means is not to usurp your authority over men, which is written. But be in silence. You are all about worshiping women in your video. Do you know that women were the cause of the fall of mankind? What is written about women throughout the whole Bible? They love to fornicate. They're the reasons why God's people fell over and over and over again. Not only the kings who were influenced by the wives who worshipped other gods because they loved to fornicate. To honor your father and your mother is to keep the 10 Commandments. It was Yeshua's first and great commandment he gave us to honor your father and your mother. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 3. Quoting Deuteronomy chapter 6. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. This is the first and great commandment Yeshua gave us. Quoting Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5. That chapter is all about his fourth commandment to honor your father and your mother. It's to keep the commandments in your heart, teach them to your children, and it will be your righteousness. Jehovah's righteousness. Romans 10, they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. Their ignorance of Jehovah's righteousness and established their own. This is why the whole world is deceived. They've all created their own righteousness over what his son was prophesied to refresh in Deuteronomy 18 and Acts 3. What was desired at Horeb, the life-giving water, Exodus 17, what he told the Samaritan woman at the well about. Revelations 22, and those that are thirsty are able to drink from the waters freely. The Bible tells us many things about women, most of them not good. Men are instructed to keep themselves from women, if possible. That Jezebel spirit, you got to repent from. And anybody that tolerates her goes in the same bed of suffering. Revelations 2, verse 20. What does Jehovah hate? A proud look. And you sure have one. You sure have a proud look in your video. Why do you need a filter on? Why do you need a filter on? Tell me this on your video. Testament of Reuben, chapter 2. You should read that entire chapter. For evil are women, my children, and since they have no power or strength over men, they use wiles by outward attractions that they may draw him into themselves, and whom they cannot bewitch. By outward attractions, him they overcome by craft. What craft are you using on that filter? For moreover, concerning them, the angel of the Lord told me and taught me that women are overcome by the spirit of fornication more than men, and in their heart they plot against men, and by means of their adornment they deceive first their minds, and by the glance of the eye instill the poison, and then through the accomplished act they take them captive. For a woman cannot force a man openly, but by a harlot's bearing she beguiles him, just like that Jezebel. Flee, therefore, fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters that they adorn not their heads or faces to deceive the minds, thinking that they're more beautiful than they are, that they can lure men in, attract that opposite sex, whoever they have their eyes on. Because every woman who uses these wiles has been reserved for eternal punishment. And you mentioned some of that, but your actions tell me you use the same wiles. You're even using filter on your video. It's easily recognized. And we are not to usurp our authority over men. We can ask them questions like Deborah. Deborah asked questions. She did not usurp her authority over men. Do your research on godly women. Deborah was like the best example in the book of how she went about things, asking questions of men. The other women of the Bible, you're just making your own assumptions about. And there's many examples. Marian, the punishment she received was much more severe than Aaron because she usurped her authority. She was given leprosy and casted out of the camp for, I think it was 2 weeks, for usurping her authority over men. The punishment to women is severe. Those that have that Jezebel spirits, Jeremiah 4, that are hiding, their women will be ravished. The women will be ravished. Their men will die by the sword, because whoever suffers that Jezebel, they go into the same bed of suffering with them. Their men die by the sword, and their children are dashed to pieces. So I pray you do not have children. Women are evil. They are. Throughout the whole Bible, they are the reason why the men fell over and over and over again. Because they caused them to fornicate, committing adultery on Jehovah, having other gods before him over and over and over again. Using wiles like these, taught to them by fallen angels. I'm sure you've probably read about that. Repent. Listen to my brother. He knows what he's talking about. He's done his research. We're to keep the 10 Commandments with his son refreshed at Horeb, what was prophesied